Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an emergency broadcast of the Dan Dawson Show. So what we have going on in New York is that New York Attorney General Letitia James has decided to go after the NRA's pocketbooks because, God forbid, we have an organization that sticks up for the gun rights of your average American. So she's trying to shut them down in New York, which I think is great. That means they can move to Texas. Come down to Texas, we'll take it. But you really have to ask yourself, why is it that the New York liberals want to run out all the big businesses? You saw AOC do it. They want to strip your gun rights. They want to let out all the criminals. They're not going to enforce. They've gotten rid of their gang unit and their crime units. And that basically they want to leave you helpless. They're defunding the police while letting out criminals and trying to take your guns. And it's not only New York. California's doing it. Washington State's doing it. Well, hell, Washington State's shutting down jails. So think about this, average American. They don't want you to have the ability to protect yourself. They're not going to provide the proper amount of police to protect you while they're letting out repeat violent offenders, and they're not prosecuting new crimes. They're leaving you to the wolves. And there's not very many of us sheepdogs left to protect you from the wolves. So I would say, if you don't have a gun, get a gun. Before the Democrats take it all. So you're doing this. The average person sees this. How do you think they're not going to vote for Trump? If I didn't know better, I would say they're trying to hand the election to Trump. The average person is not going to say, yeah, get rid of my police department. Here, take my guns. Yeah, let those violent offenders out back into my neighborhood. And I'm cool with that, and I'm going to vote for you and keep you in. I might add this Letitia James, a black woman. See, here's the thing, right? We've got the term in the black community, sellout and coon and Uncle Tom all mixed up. This is your Uncle Tom. This is your coon. Because she has police security. But she doesn't want it for your neighborhoods. She has armed people around her. But she doesn't want you to be armed. Those are the people selling you out and endangering the black community. And so you really have to ask yourself, why do they want us disarmed? And I can't come up with a reason, except they're trying to get Trump reelected. I don't know, maybe, I hate to say this, but maybe Trump is bought off the Democrat Party. That's what it looks like. Their ridiculous support of Antifa. And they're wanting to take everybody's guns away. Do you know how unpopular that is? Do you know that of all the people that bought guns during this pandemic when all the riots broke out, it was 78% black? There was a rise in 78% of gun sales in the black community. Think about that. So think about that, move forward, and ask yourself, why are these people trying to disarm me? Why? And the NRA's been in New York since 1871. 1871. But see, they're a nonprofit, so they don't have to pay taxes. And that's what I've been telling you guys about. New York, de Blasio just released a video, right? Mayor de Blasio just released a video begging millionaires to come back to New York. Why would they? You and AOC and your liberal friends have been running about that forever. I tell you, it's enough to make a man start smoking and drinking. You're trying to run them out, but you want them there because now you realize somebody needs to pay those taxes, right? So you can't, give you money, but you're not going to fund the police to keep them safe. When Antifa and BLM pop up, you're not going to protect their businesses. And you're going to charge them, what is it, a 50-something% tax to be there? New York's not that great. Neither is LA. As you see, Joe Rogan left LA. Think about that. People are fleeing these places. I see businesses, the Ferrari dealership that used to be in Seattle. I was just chatting with the owner, and he's talking about leaving Seattle. He doesn't want to be here anymore. It's not worth it. So you have all these businesses and all these companies, and as you know, Amazon is talking about leaving Seattle and maybe going down to Bellevue. So you have all these liberal, dumbass ideas, and they want to give away this and give away that. But you need people's taxes to do that. And you're not producing. I'm sorry. Hey, if you want the NRA out of New York, I agree with President Trump. They should move to Texas. I don't know why they're already not in Texas. But hey, keep that in mind. Keep an eye on these people, especially these black people, because see, it's easier for your own people to get next to you than anybody else. And this Letitia James, I tell you, boy, she looks like a piece of work. It's easier for them to get next to you than anybody else. Keep an eye on them, and don't vote for anybody who's gonna strip you. And that's all the Democrats are running off, is stripping you of your gun rights. Biden's whole thing, he's gonna put Francis Baby Boy O'Rourke in there, and they're gonna take the AR-15s. Well, as my shirt says, and as was a great motto of Texas once, come and take it, because that's just the point we are at in society. And I hate to say this, as a combat veteran, I hoped I'd never see war come to American soil again, but it looks like we're kind of getting there. So thank you for watching this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. If you have any comments or anything, I want to introduce a new thing on the show. I got this from Daisy. Z-Day? Something like that. Anyway, so the Jewish guy's talking to Tom Cruise, and he says, we have a committee of 10 people. If 9 people agree on something, it is the duty of the 10th person to disagree. So, and that's what I want to start on my comments. If you comment in the future and you're that 10th person, even if you agree with what I said, I want you to look down deep and find a way to disagree with what was being said. So thank you, the Dan Dawson Show. I appreciate your love and support. Look forward to seeing you in the future.